Good old classic heavy metal is alive and kicking. And there is tons of modern bands out there honoring and continuing the legacy of the all-time greats like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Helloween, Accept, and all the rest. So today we're hearing 5 new metal bands that are cranking out pure, honest heavy metal just like we love it. And stick around to the end because the final band actually has a guitar player that is on the shortlist of becoming my future ex-wife. But let's dive in and start with some raw, aggressive 80s sound. We're kicking things off with Satan's 4 from Finland, and they play that raw, aggressive metal with twin guitar fire and screaming vocals. Check this out. So this gives me a total Judas Priest vibe, but the vocals also remind me a little bit of Paul Di'Anno. So if you're a fan of bands like Judas Priest, obviously Painkiller era probably, and Accept, maybe early Iron Maiden, the band Satan and Angel Witch, you're definitely gonna like Satan's Fall. And I'm gonna put for you a link to all the bands in this video in the first comment below. But let's head over to some chugging, groovy NWOBHM metal. Wings of Steel were formed in 2019 in the US and they made 2 full albums so far. The last one, Winds of Time, came out in 2025. Wings of Steel are very diverse somehow. They're hovering somewhere between heavy hard rock and heavy metal, and then there are parts of this that actually make me think of Zakk Wylde and his guitar playing. So if you're a fan of Ronnie James Dio solo career, maybe Queensryche, obviously Judas Priest, then you're gonna like Wings of Steel. But we're diving headfirst into New York City's gothic underground. Tower play this blackened heavy metal with a very cool 80s edge. They were formed in 2015 in the US and they made 3 full albums. The last one, Let There Be Dark, came out in 2025. Tower's got this killer coolness that just somehow hooks you. It's a little bit more cinematic with a darker undertone, and the vocals here from this singer, Sarah Beth Linden, I think her name is, it just cuts into your soul. So if you're a fan of bands like Mercyful Fate, Black Sabbath probably, and even some Celtic Frost, you're definitely gonna like Tower. Now the next band is proving that metal is definitely a global language because they're delivering some heavy swagger straight out of India. But before we go to India, I often get the question, where do you find all this new metal? A lot of it comes from you guys in the comments to my video, but I also run this Spotify playlist, New Metal and Rock Weekly. Every Friday that gets updated with all new metal and rock from that week, and there is stuff on there you won't find anywhere else. There is a link in the first comment below so you can subscribe. But back to India, Girish and The Chronicles were formed in 2009, and they play this blend of vintage heavy metal and hard rock with some serious groove and a very sophisticated sound. They made 3 albums, the last one, Back on Earth, came out in 2023. When I listen to this, it makes me think about Skid Row's Slave to the Grind, which was like a heavier album than their previous stuff. But there is also like a Priest stuff in there and Helloween stuff and maybe even some Scorpions. So if you like those bands, you're definitely gonna like Girish and The Chronicles. But next up, we're going on a date with my future ex-wife in Switzerland. Burning Witches play this dark and doomy but still melodic metal that brings together all the stuff that we love from the classic heavy metal. They were formed in 2015 and they made 5 albums since 2019. The last one, The Inquisition, came out in 2025. Now Now this stuff is filled with these cool riffs, twin guitars and gothic vibes, and it just has quality written all over it. And I obviously love the guitar playing here, with Courtney Cox being the lucky girl that has a secret admirer. So if you like bands like obviously Judas Priest and then maybe Iron Maiden for the galloping and then Mercyful Fate for the occult stuff and maybe Diamond Head for kind of the crunch and crispiness, then you're definitely gonna like Burning Witches. So did you know these bands already, or do you have new bands that I need to know about? Please drop a comment below. And if you like videos like this, then now might be the perfect time to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next drop. And in the first comment below, I'm gonna put a link to my previous episode with plenty of other new bands and that playlist link. But if you want more metal right now, then here are 6 other new classic heavy metal bands that are making really cool music. And there's a band in here that just sounds exactly like Iron Maiden, so check that out.